The Central Highlands. The Central Highlands. The Aravali Range borders them on the west. The Satpura Range is formed in the south by a succession of scarped plateaus. The Central Highlands' typical height runs between 700 and 1,000 meters above mean sea level, with a slope to the north and northeast. The Central Highlands are the parts of the peninsular plateau to the north of the Narmada River that encompass a calculated area of the Malwa Plateau. The Vindhyan Range is limited on the south by the Central Highlands and on the northwest by the Aravali Range. The Central Highlands are broader in the west than they are in the east. This is the northernmost limit of the Deccan Plateau. The rivers that drain this region, especially the Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, and Ken, run from southwest to northeast, showing the slope. Makel landscape is the area encompassing Satpura to the west and the Makel Hill Ranges to the east. It encompasses 14 districts in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and Maharashtra. Forest cover covers 34% of the total area. The Central Indian Highlands are divided into two parallel chains of hills known as the Vindhyas and the Satpuras. The Central Highlands, rivers. The Central Highlands' typical height runs between 700 and 1,000 meters above mean sea level, with a slope to the north and northeast. The majority of the Yamuna's tributaries originate in the Vindhyan and Kaimur Mountains. Banas is the only substantial tributary of the Chambal River that flows west from the Aravali Mountains. The Rajmahal Hills represent an eastern extension of the Central Highland, to the south of which is a huge store of mineral resources in the Chota Nagpur Plateau. The Narmada, Chambal, Betwa, Tuns, Ken, Son, Wanganga, Warda, and Tapti rivers all have their headwaters in the Central Indian Highlands. The Central Highlands, climate. The climate is tropical, with the majority of rain falling during the southwest monsoon, June to August. The peninsular Sal Sharia robusta forest in the east and Teak Tectona grandis in the west dominate the natural vegetation of the Central Indian Highlands. A total of 430 bird species have been securely reported from this region, spanning 61 families and 15 orders, with 254 species breeding and 104 species migrating in the winter, as well as a few more vagrant species. Significance of the Central Highlands. The Central Indian Highlands are divided into two parallel chains of hills known as the Vindhyas and the Satpuras, which run east-northeast to west-southwest and are separated by the Narmada River Valley. The Makel Hills in the region's northeast are thought to represent the connecting link between these mountains. The Central Highlands of India are a biogeographic zone. The peninsular plateau may be observed as far west as Jaisalmer, where it has been covered by longitudinal sand ridges and crescent-shaped sand dunes known as barchans. This region has been subjected to metamorphic processes throughout its geological history, as evidenced by the existence of metamorphic rocks such as marble, slate, gneiss, and so on. These highlands were produced by the confluence of the Satpura and Vindhya Hills ranges. This is the northernmost limit of the Deccan Plateau. It is a prime example of relict mountains, which are densely forested and form discontinuous ranges. Conclusion. The Central Highlands are to the north of the Narmada River. It takes up the majority of the Malwa Plateau. The Central Highlands are the parts of the peninsular plateau to the north of the Narmada River that encompass a calculated area of the Malwa Plateau. India's Central Highlands are a biogeographic zone. It is a prime example of relict mountains, which are densely forested and form discontinuous ranges. Thank you.